What's up, guys? Welcome back. It is peak week. If you don't know what peak week is, it is the week before your competition. So some things change. There's a little bit of, you should be ready by this point. So now it's just kind of holding on to what you built and maintaining, making a few adjustments here or there. A little bit of water depletion. So what that can look like is a little bit of water manipulation. So there's different ways to do water manipulation to lose those extra, just to get rid of that extra water weight. So, reducing carbohydrates. So carbohydrates converts to glycogen, and each gram of glycogen contains about 3 grams of water. So as you can tell, reduction in carbohydrates can also reduce water. You can also increase water intake. So when you're dehydrated, the body wants to hold on to more water. So by increasing your water intake, the body actually has a chance to flush water out. So right now we're on another low carb day. I've already had breakfast, which was 45 grams of oats, 3 egg whites, 1 whole egg, 75 grams of blueberries. And we're going to be taking off here in a little bit. So I'm just going to be taking my meal with me like I always do. We only have 105 grams of rice, which isn't a whole lot. I threw some spinach in there, 50 grams of asparagus, and 6 ounces of chicken. So that's what that looks like. So we're getting ramped up. We have, I think, 7 days till show day. Getting excited. Bree's excited. So you guys stay tuned because we're going to bring you back into show day too. What's going on, guys? And welcome to episode 4 of the journey. This episode is about recovery. It's very special to me because I'm not just talking about physical recovery. I'm talking about emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical. All 4 rooms. And I tell you that because I want to be completely honest with you guys. I alluded to it last week about my troubles and my journey and my addiction to alcohol that I've had to navigate through. And so I kind of want to dive a little bit deeper into what that actually looked like and what that actually entails and how I have daily practices and daily recovery routines. And also anybody that's out there struggling, let you know that, hey, you're not alone. I'm a normal person just like anybody else, and you don't have to go through this alone. So, my journey with alcohol, it was a pretty dark place. I grew up in a house that alcohol was kind of looked at as a normalcy. And, I inherited, I don't want to say inherited, but I started developing patterns, and there was reasons why. We'll get to those in a second. But the gist of it is, it got so out of hand that, I really didn't know how to get out of it, out of this cycle and spiral of, this demoralizing bullshit that I was in. So it took, by the grace of God, my parents and my family and my ex-wife, have this intervention with me because I had literally started dying. I was in the hospital. I turned yellow. That's how bad it had gotten. So they took me to a treatment center and got me some help. I was scared shitless because my way of living, as I saw it, was coming to a complete end. I didn't know what I was going to do, so it was scary. That, and I found out I was dying, because of self-induced infliction. So after I left treatment, I knew there was still something missing. I needed to find out, because I took the alcohol out of my body, but there were still wounds inside of me that needed to be navigated through, looked at. There was practices that needed to be implanted. I just wasn't, the only thing that was different was I wasn't drinking now. And I needed to find out who I was, because that was ultimately, I had no clue. What alcohol did for me was it allowed me to put on a mask for this person, a mask for that person, to run from my problems, to avoid this, to avoid that, to be whoever I thought you wanted me to be. I used alcohol for that. I used it to fit in, to be liked, and I had to look at all that shit, and it took a little bit deeper dive for me to get to that point, to realize where I was and the lies I've been telling myself all these years, and to really start opening up the Band-Aids. I just put Band-Aids on these wounds that I needed to look at. So, and then on top of that, through the years, I lost my wife at the time, and, she took my son and moved away, and so now I find myself in recovery and alone for the first time in my life. So I was really having a hard time figuring out who I was, because now I'm all by myself and I have to be by myself all the time, and generally we are by ourselves all the time. Like, we're inside of ourselves, so we have to be loving ourselves, and that was the main component for me. It was like, and I talked about it last episode, with self-love. I didn't have any. I didn't know what that looked like. So I had to find out who that was and what I wanted to be and who I was and what my purpose was, So I did more exploring. I started dabbling, and my brother, he kind of came to me and he said, "Hey man, I have an offer for you." And he mentioned, an indigenous plant medicine called ayahuasca. And I was terrified because, of course, I YouTubed it and I saw all this crap of ceremonies and people throwing up and turning into demonic shit. I said, "Yeah, sign me up." I said, "Let's do this." So off I went, and it was right around Hurricane Harvey, I think. Yeah, it was right. I guess that was it. Yeah. And I flew out to California to do my first weekend retreat, and it was the most transformative experience of my life, because I got I got the most pivotal point that I was looking for, and that's what is in my way. And what was in my way was all these different ways of thinking. And I had, and I'll take you through the experience. So when I was in the treatment center, one of my counselors told me the story of the two wolves. And if you don't know what those two wolves are, we'll get to that in just a second. And you can see they're right behind me, right up here. There's dark wolf and light wolf inside in all of us. And so when I went in this ceremony, the shaman I was working with, he took me 5 doses deep, which never done that again. But that's what it took, because I was holding on to these ideals and lies and ways of being. And during this experience, I mean, if you don't know what ayahuasca does, for me, it's very intuitive, and it takes you where it needs to take you to get to another realm of introspective and intuition. For me, it blasted me to a lot of shit that I didn't want to see. A lot of things that I was holding on to. Materialism being one of them, ego being a huge one. So during this visualization, because you hallucinate, I start seeing this black wolf start circling this mat that I'm on, and I'm scared shitless. And I know what the plant medicine's trying to show me. It's telling me, like, you need to let go of all this stuff. Only I didn't know how to let go, and I didn't want to let go at the time. And I was grabbing my mat, I was growling at it, and this black wolf just keeps circling me and circling me and circling me. And I'm losing my shit. I'm not joking. And by the grace, and the ceremony's coming to an end, and I'm still in another dimension. And my sister-in-law, who I love so dearly, who's one of the most powerful warrior goddesses I've ever known in my entire life. Her presence and energy is just amazing. If you ever get a chance to meet her, you're lucky. She comes over to me, and she can tell I'm just in distress. And she's coming out of her experience, and she touches my arm, she starts scratching my back, and she said, you don't have to try so hard to be something you're not. She goes, you're beautiful, you're strong, you're loving, you're kind, you're ambitious, you're a great father. Start listing all these attributes instead of everything that I was focusing on, which was negative. And then at the end of it, she said something that now I have tattooed on my arm. She said, just be you. You already are. And you can see, like, right here, I have it mounted on my wall as well. And it's tattooed in the middle of the arm, which you guys may have seen or not. Well, in that moment, there was like this explosion that happened inside my psyche. And all of a sudden, the black wolf was gone. Everything turned light. And, sit down, baby. Sit down. And this white wolf circles me. And it just sits down right at the edge of my mat. And my breathing completely changed. And I let go. And I knew what I had to let go of. It was these ideals of materialism and ego, for one. Let's get to that. It was, if I drive this car, this person's going to like me. If I have this house, these people are going to respect me. If I have this job, my parents are going to approve of me. And I had built this wall around myself with these ideals that were such fucking lies. There's such horseshit. And I think that's what society gets caught up in today, is thinking we have to have all this shit for approval. It's like, and I started looking at that and seeing how that attributed to my drinking. And I'm like, whoa, I wanted to fit in so bad that I was willing to do whatever it took. You know, I was willing to let you make fun of me. I was willing to, like, just totally disrespect my own boundaries, let you walk all over me. I would get completely annihilated just so I could be the life of the party and be talked about and laughed with and all this bullshit just so you would like me. And before I knew it, I'd crossed this line where I couldn't stop. You know, so that deep dive, and then I had to do some inner child work after that. So you can see, like, this journey just keeps going. So once I peeled that layer, now it's time to go a little bit deeper. So we started doing inner child work. And what inner child work looks like is, what does my child need? There's an inner child in all of us, and what's its greatest need? My need is just, I need to feel love. I need to give love. It's like, where were we at when we were 5 years old? What does the 5-year-old you want? What does the 5-year-old you need? And I was working with another person in my tribe, you know, about this. And I was going over all these shadows, like, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, I'm a bad father, I suck at this, I suck at that. She goes, would you tell your son that? I'm like, no, I wouldn't tell my son those things. She goes, why the fuck are you telling yourself that? Because ultimately that's what you're doing. You're telling your inner child all these negative attributes about yourself. I'm like, holy shit. So it was a pivotal transformation of negative ways of thinking about myself, where I just started embodying myself and started living with self-love and putting ego aside. I just started really appreciating myself, you know? And so it's my daily practice just to get present with myself and, like, really acknowledge feelings and emotions that are, you know, because we all have shit, you know, we're not all perfect beings, nobody is. So every day, you know, I go do my fasted cardio and I come home and I come in here. This is my sacred space. You know, I have an altar back here that has crystals. Yes, I'm one of those crystal witches too. You can see I have an obsidian. If you see this necklace here, it's an obsidian crystal. And if you know what obsidians are and you know the histories of crystals, the obsidian actually blocks out negative energy, so we're surrounded by it. It just kind of creates this force field of, you know, get the negative energy away from me. So this is actually my sacred space, and, you know, I really don't bring a whole lot of people in here, just because this is where I come to just get grounded. This is where I come to keep healing, to keep growing, to become aware, you know, to give existence to feelings that I might be suppressing. You know what? I don't want to, and I talked about all 4 rooms. This is my mental and emotional healing that we're talking about now. We all have feelings, and how many times do I sit there and suppress these feelings that I'm actually having? You know, I don't open up. You know, let's say Bree's bothering me. You know, Bree did something that's bothering me. Well, an old pattern of mine is I would sit there and let it go, you know, and I would develop this resentment against her, and she didn't even know about it. Well, one of the practices that we do is open transparency and communication. We create a safe space on the couch or wherever it may be, and we have open dialogue, and we appreciate and respect each other's feelings, emotions. We acknowledge them. And I think that's really helped us grow together, respect each other, and it creates a good energy in our household, which is a healthy environment for all of us to heal. So she doesn't always like the smell of the sage that I burn in here, because I burned some sage and it cleans the energy, and it's called smudging. She hates that smell, but at the same time she respects my practices. And Bree's been through more shit with me than I love that woman, and she's been by my side through a lot of this journey. And if you guys get a chance to meet her, she's an incredible woman, and she's the love of my life. And I don't think I would be where I am without the support of her, the support of my parents, the support of my brother. God, I love that man. If you guys, he's an amazing person, and he's on his own path of spirituality, and it's just amazing to watch him blossom in his journey. Him and my sister-in-law, they're some incredible people, and I cherish them in my life, and I'm completely grateful for that. So if you guys didn't know that aspect about me, now you do, and like I said, if I tell you guys this, to just invite you to just take a look at what's going on in your life and know that it's okay to not be okay. Because for the longest time I thought, something's wrong with me. I'm not, I can't tell anybody about it. I can't open up to my friends, Create you a safe space, and that's one reason why I started Primal Warriors, because I wanted to build a tribe of authenticity, a tribe of safe spaces where you can talk to your brothers and sisters and tell them what the hell's going on. That's kind of how it started. And now it's cultivated into something much, much bigger. We have friends from all over the country that write me and tell me what's going on, and it's amazing just to hear those kind of those kind of trials and tribulations, and men and women opening up in ways they haven't before. So I'm honored to hold that space for you guys. If something's going on, feel free to reach out to me. I invite it. So what else we have planned today? So we are going to go take care of the physical room as well. So part of my training, part of my healing is definitely taking care of the body. And I'm not just talking about massages and all that stuff. So we're going to go see Lisa Simeon, who I talked about last week. And she does more than just muscle manipulation. So when we work together, it's kind of a spiritual connection as well. There's a lot of energy being released, not just working out muscles and fascia tissue. You guys will get a little glimpse of it. There's energy being released. There's trauma being released for me. So when we're done, I'm pretty exhausted emotionally and mentally, as well as physically. So I use that time to my benefit to just kind of do more daily meditation practices, get present with my body, go into my body and actually help release any spots that need to be healing. There's spots that she touches that I didn't even know were problem areas. So you guys stay with me. We're going to check out and go check in with Lisa. Stay tuned. So one thing that I'm a true believer in is the universe is always trying to show us something, trying to tell us something, trying to send us a signal, and it's our responsibility to be aware. One way that I notice that I see consecutive numbers, consecutive ones. So like it's 11. I see 1111 just about every day, like 111, 1111. You can see on my tattoo, it's set at 11:11. So there you go, guys. A little lesson. Okay, well, we're back. Thanks for staying with us. We are with Lisa Simeon. She is, I would call her my magic wand. She's a healer of And Lisa's very special to me in more ways than just the physical aspects of what she does for me and my body. We started working together about 1.5 years ago, and I had talked about this a little bit earlier. Like the very first time we worked together, there was an emotional release, not just the physical release. I was actually in tears, and she called me on it. She's like, you know, because
just let it go.
It wasn't. There was a lot of energy being released. So one thing that she does, and it's a gift, and she's hiding it for so long, is that when she can find spots by just feel, and she actually heats up. She's like my own little fire starter, like little Drew Barrymore. And it's like you heat up, she sweats, and you had hidden that for so long just because you didn't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to really just embody that because it's a gift. And I think you've done an amazing job of like really pushing that to the next level and kind of harnessing your skills and kind of enhancing your skills. I think it's kind of broadened like your expertise.
Yeah.
So anyway, she's super busy. Her books are packed. It's hard to get in sometimes nowadays, but that's a good thing for her. But yeah, so this is part of my show prep. So we're going to work on obviously getting me wider in the back. That's one thing that we typically work on, is widening my lats, rounding out my shoulders. I get a lot of restriction in my shoulders, so we release that, get those a little bit leveled out, and I'll do a breakaway and kind of show you guys our last session when my lats were tightened up, a little lopsided, and then after our work, and you'll actually be able to see it live today. So, do you want to talk about kind of what you encompass and what your specialties are?
Explain what I do.
Yeah.
It's explaining what I do is not easy. So the heat that he was talking about, I've tried figuring it out. I don't know if it's trapped energy. I don't know. Sometimes it's old injuries that people have. My hands get extremely hot. So a lot of times the clients will feel it before I do. Areas that are really bound up, I will literally heat up almost like I have a fever. And with his neck injury before, I used to like sweat all over the table working on his neck, trying to get that pec area kind of fired back up. And so yeah, there's a lot of sweating when I worked on him. And then in 2020, just like everybody else, I started working on myself more, meditating, praying more, and now I guess basically it's myofascial release, but I can do it very quickly. I don't have to dig, I don't have to hold it. I can literally like hold somebody's arm and feel it releasing underneath my fingers. So There's times that I will go deep, but I'm releasing the deeper fascia in the joint. So that's how I'm able to, within probably about 15 minutes for you now because your body's so used to me, but within like 30 minutes, an hour, I'm able to completely reset the shoulder back because I can release all this fascia bound up in here really quickly. And then it sets the shoulder back. Now, as we've discussed, there are two sides to it as far as what I do. So not only do I release, but I also educate on how to maintain the strength of keeping the shoulder back. So it's not just about all body work. So I also do the biomechanics of, teaching the exercises on how to keep it there, because if the muscles are not strong in the back and I'm just keep releasing, it's just going to keep rolling back forward. So there is two sides to it. It's not just about the passive body work.
Yep. And you can see she's got a list of professional athletes that she works on. Quite the impressive list. Bodybuilders, NFL players. So she's amazing what she does. There's a reason we come to her. You'll get to see it today.
What I'm finding in a lot of people is that it's not so much the muscle that's tight that's rolling the shoulder forward. There's a lot of bound up fascia in here. So what happens is the anterior delt gets bound up, and it's kind of like it binds up this way, and then underneath the upper fibers of the pec gets stuck underneath here. So this is what I end up releasing here. This area is important because a bound up diaphragm will restrict the expansion of the lungs. So when the shoulder's rolled forward and all this is bound up, it'll draw the shoulder in this way, which will then make it hard to open up the lats and
Look big.
look big. So basically we've been working to release all this to broaden, so if you can see the difference between this shoulder and then look at that one.
How's that alignment?
Good. Does it feel okay?
Oh, it feels free.
Good.
Yeah, especially on the left side where it was kind of pulling back.
Uh-huh.
And just kind of sitting there. Now it's just able to just hang, which feels great. Test it out. So I've been having problems.
You can stay right there.
It's like, huh?
I say you can stay in this position. Wow.
So do you feel anything?
Just a little here.
Okay.
But, so what I started doing yesterday was taking the foam roller and just laying on it. But, yeah, it's just kind of right here. But it's not in the lower lat.
Okay. Yep. When you feel it is when you're posing, right?
Yep.
Sometimes how I have to release people is actually have them get in the position that they actually feel it. You're feeling it here?
Yeah, just right below the Terry's muscle.
Right here.
It might get it.
Okay, ready? So I just let them pose or let them get in the position that's hurting.
Do you want to flex?
Is that when it hurts?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Got it?
Yeah.
Try again.
Yeah.
Did I get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So peak week workouts, what we're really trying to do is just, again, maintain. We're going to push a little bit of intensity, a lot of high volume. Really just keep the muscles isolated. Try to keep them as full as possible till we get on that stage. So we'll probably just run this. We have a split. Dave gave me a split, so here I'll probably working that. Today we're just hitting some chest, a lot of high repetition. You won't see me doing a whole lot of weight right now. But yeah, we're gonna be pushing like 15, 20 repetitions. Get a constant blood flow into the muscles. Working on a little decline here, so probably hit some decline. Really focus on the upper chest with some incline movements. and a shitload of flies. So get after it.
Bandana on, that's when you know he's about to grind the shit out of this video. Like, you already know. I actually wanted to do the bandanas this year, and I was like, hey Hannah, do you think I'd look cool in a bandana? And she's like, no. I was like, I'm gonna do it anyways, fuck it.
You heard it. We're getting primal bandanas.
I'll wear one.
So how we shaping up, Coach?
We're looking really good. We're what? We're 6 days out. No, we're looking really good. So the game plan right now is like he's burning through everything, which is awesome. So this food's actually pretty high considering he's about to like go into a show. So I might just deplete him just a little bit and then add some food back in. That way he just kind of soaks it up a little bit. But he's looking, you know, right on the money. You know, we're gonna try and definitely clear masters. That's like not even an option, and then we're gonna try and get the open and then win the overall. So it'll be a good little warm-up show for him before hitting into nationals later in the summer.
Feeling good, looking good.
Looking good, feeling good. So we're right on track.
I was telling him last time we did like a little bitty like mock peak week where we upped the carbohydrates, kind of see how we filled out and kind of dropped them back down. We're on a little bit of lower carbohydrate, kind of back on that lower scale right now. We're talking about, you know, water depletion, and that could possibly, like, we've done it both ways.
Yes.
We've done deplete water, or we've increased water to deplete water. Obviously we know carbohydrates and the glycogen, take those out. Water depletes as well. So we're seeing how the body works. We've done it all 3 different ways.
For sure. We definitely like messed around with it too, and you got to think too, like your muscle is majority water, right? So whenever you are like trying to cut water or even deplete carbs, like if we cut away the carbs a little bit, like throwing those carbs back in may be enough of a water bounce to where he fills out and it looks good, but at the same time when we carb him up he may need to pull back water a little bit. So it's really kind of how he responds these next couple days is going to be what the game plan is set in stone for like that Friday, Saturday before the show. But you know, we'll have him right. We'll have him looking good and ready for Saturday.
We're gonna be the first 40-year-old overall champ, beat all these young bucks. Y'all watch out. That's what we're going for.
I'll let you back to it.
All right, man. You don't want to wear shorts like this to the gym when you don't have a tan. This here's Neiman Rat. This is my brother right here. What's up, cuz? See, I gotta take him to go get him a tan.
Yeah.
We gotta do something about this shit.
No show, no 10. It's alright.
Now, Neiman's a competitor too, did a fantastic bang-up job at Muscle Beach last year. What show are you gonna do this year, bud?
We're gonna do the Muscle Beach again, and right now we're picking for the second one between San Antonio Classic or Lackland. Not really sure where Lackland is, but those are the choices.
Now listen.
Eat your veggies.
Eat your veggies.
You're fucking buff.
Like still from that injury in my neck. The arm still wants to give out sometimes. So we've worked our way up. Starting at the 2.5. All the way up and down this row. Where my max is. So to be able to get a, you know, 3 figs. Pretty happy about that. Might not be much to most people, but to me it's a moral victory more than anything. Like I said, it took taking these right here. Starting from scratch. After that injury, starting here. Working my way back. So here we are today. even though you're not using the shoulder to get it, the shoulder wants to come in as a secondary mover just because this pec isn't as fully developed back as the right one. So when you're using a single pulley system here in a single plane and you're using both sides to maneuver it, there's no isolated movements. One's going to compensate, you know, over the other one a little bit, and that's only natural. So you see me doing a lot of isolated movements as well, just on this left side. When it's, you know, or getting on a 2-pulley system to where each arm has its own separate load. So otherwise, we're just gonna build this big right side, and this left side is gonna be like, hey, what's up, man? Be walking around doing my poses like this. But we don't want that, man. We want some symmetry at least. At least try to. Incline flies, we're gonna go different ranges. So we're gonna hit a little decline fly, followed by a lateral fly, a little incline fly. So it'll be 10 of each.
I just look at my wrist, I got time to think. Get across the line to take. Hope you so real, the blood to take. Work like you want to work on myself. So you will reach the X1.
And that's going to wrap up episode 4. Again, thank you guys for allowing me to express myself to you, open up a lot, be vulnerable and authentic. But that's what, like I always say, that's what I want to give you guys. So if you have any questions, looking for somebody to talk to, hit me up, man. I know how it is. I've been there. Walk that road every single day. It's a daily reprieve from that bullshit that I was in. So if you're going through something, shit, man, don't give up hope. Reach out to me if you need to. I'll check in with you guys on show day. Take care.